When God is about to give you something big, the atmosphere around your life begins to shift. You may not see it yet, you may not understand it yet, but deep within your spirit, you will feel it. There is a holy tension. There is a stirring, a pressure, a spiritual shaking. It is not confusion, it is preparation. It is not chaos, it is construction. Because before God releases something big, He always rearranges everything that cannot hold what He is about to pour out. And when you are about to receive something greater than anything you've ever imagined, you will not move through life the same way. You will start to see signs, clear, divine signs, that something is shifting in your favor. These signs are not ordinary. They are not coincidences. They are signals from heaven, markers that God is moving the unseen pieces of your destiny into alignment. But make no mistake, when God is about to bless you in a big way, it will not always feel comfortable. In fact, it will often feel like everything is being taken away from you. That is a mystery of divine transformation. When God is about to increase you, He will first separate you. When God is about to lift you, He will first humble you. When God is about to trust you with something mighty, He will first test your foundation to see if it can hold the weight of His glory. The first sign you will see when God is preparing you for something big is divine disconnection. Suddenly, people who once walked closely with you will begin to drift away. Friends who once understood you will now misunderstand you. Those who once supported your vision will begin to question it. You will look around and realize that the crowd you once relied on is gone. But hear me. This is not rejection, it is redirection. God is pruning your circle, not because those people are evil, but because they cannot breathe in the altitude you are about to rise to. You cannot carry everyone into the next season of your destiny. Some relationships are seasonal, some are assignments, and some are only meant to awaken you, not accompany you. When God starts removing certain people, do not chase them. Thank God for them and let them go. Because their exit is the proof that your elevation is near. The second sign is spiritual warfare intensifies. You will notice unusual resistance. You will face attacks that seem unexplainable. The moment you begin to move closer to your breakthrough, the enemy will unleash everything to discourage you. Suddenly, the peace you once had seems fragile. The thoughts in your mind grow heavy. The temptation to give up becomes stronger. And you begin to ask, why is everything going wrong when I am trying to do right? That's because you are no longer a threat when you're stagnant. You become a threat when you are close to something divine. The battle always gets fiercest near the gate of blessing. The pressure increases because you are about to push something powerful into existence. Do not interpret the warfare as a sign of failure. It is confirmation that something holy is near. The third sign is unexplainable isolation. You may find yourself in seasons where no one understands your spirit anymore. Conversations that once fed you now feel empty. You go into rooms full of people, but still feel unseen. That isolation is not punishment. It is divine incubation. God pulls you away to speak to you directly. The crowd cannot hear what heaven is whispering. Isolation is the classroom of revelation. When God hides you, it means He is about to reveal something new through you. So, when you find yourself alone, do not cry out for company. Listen for clarity. That loneliness is often the sacred space where God shapes vision, direction, and discernment. What feels like silence is actually strategy. The fourth sign is everything familiar begins to fail. The things that once worked stop working. The plans you made begin to fall apart. The doors that were once open begin to close. It feels as though the ground beneath you is shaking. But remember this, when God wants to move you to the next level, He will make your current level uncomfortable. When He wants to promote you, He will frustrate your routine. You may feel like your efforts are wasted, but they are not. God is simply disrupting what you have built to make space for what He is about to build through you. He is closing one door not to punish you, but to protect you from settling in a place that was never your final destination. The fifth sign is an increase in divine hunger. You will begin to sense a deeper pull toward God. Your spirit will crave silence, prayer, reflection, and obedience. You will lose taste for distractions, gossip, and worldly pleasures. Suddenly, what used to entertain you will no longer feed you. You will wake up at strange hours of the night feeling an urge to pray or meditate. That is not random. That is the Spirit of God drawing you closer, because your next blessing requires spiritual maturity. God will never release big things into unprepared hearts. So when your appetite for His presence increases, understand it is preparation. He is refining you, resetting your spirit, and deepening your roots, so that when the blessing comes, it will not destroy you, but sustain you. The sixth sign is unusual instructions. When you are close to a major breakthrough, God will begin to ask you to do things that do not make sense. He will call you to obey in areas that challenge your logic. He might tell you to give something away, to move to a new place, to leave a job, or to speak to someone specific. At that moment, your reasoning will wrestle with obedience. But understand this, every instruction from God is a seed for the next level. The greater the blessing, the stranger the instruction often is. Those who receive great things are those who obey without delay. When you learn to trust the whisper, you will witness the wonder. The seventh sign is an inner assurance that cannot be shaken. Even when everything looks uncertain, you will feel an unexplainable peace. It is not the peace of circumstance. It is the peace of alignment. You will sense that somehow everything is still working for your good. You may not know when or how, but deep down you know it's coming. This is the quiet confidence of faith. It is when your spirit begins to carry the fragrance of victory before your eyes ever see it. When that peace settles in your soul, know this: heaven has already released what you have been praying for. It is only a matter of time before it manifests in your hands. Now listen carefully. When these 7 signs begin to show up, do not panic and do not complain. Too many people misread the process and abort their own blessing by murmuring against the very God who is promoting them. When everything starts to shake, lift your hands and thank God. When people leave, thank God. When plans fail, thank God. Because each disruption is a divine signal that something greater is being built in the unseen. You are not losing. You are leveling up. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are not being rejected. You are being refined. God never gives big blessings to small minds. Before He expands your life, He must first expand your faith. That is why you go through the fire. That is why you face storms. That is why your heart breaks before your destiny unfolds. Because in every trial, God is stretching your capacity to carry what He has already prepared. Every tear you shed is watering the soil of your future harvest. Every delay is developing the discipline you will need when the doors open. Every disappointment is training your spirit to depend on Him completely. You see, God's timing is not man's timing. We rush, but God prepares. We panic, but God plans. We look at the clock, but God looks at the heart. When you ask for something big, God will not say yes immediately. He will first prepare you to be ready for it. If He gave it to you too soon, you would mishandle it. If He promoted you too early, the weight of it would crush you. So He takes you through a process, a refining fire, a season of hidden training where He molds your patience, your endurance, your humility, and your gratitude. There is always a divine delay before a divine delivery. Every great destiny carries the weight of waiting, and those who can wait with faith will always witness God's power in ways others never will. So do not despise the waiting room. It is not empty, it is sacred. God does His deepest work in seasons of silence. While you are wondering if He forgot you, He is building your foundation stronger than ever. While you are crying, He is aligning. While you are praying, He is preparing. And when it's finally time, the blessing will not just appear, it will overflow. Do you feel the shaking around you right now? Do you sense the disconnects, the battles, the loneliness, the strange shifts? Then rejoice, because these are not signs that God has abandoned you. They are signs that He is near. You are closer than you think. The pressure you feel is not the end. It is the proof that you are in transition. You are being elevated from where you were to where you are meant to be. When an arrow is pulled backward, it is only so it can be launched forward with greater force. So if life feels like it's pulling you back, remember, it's because God is about to release you into something far beyond what you can imagine. Hold your faith steady. Guard your peace fiercely. Keep your spirit clean. Do not let bitterness, fear, or doubt steal your focus. The blessing is already in motion. Every obstacle is being turned into an opportunity. Every delay is being shaped into destiny. And every storm that came to drown you will soon reveal the power of God that carries you. When you begin to see these 7 signs, lift your head high and say, God, I trust your plan. Even when I don't understand it, I will not lose faith. Even when I cannot see it, I know you are working. Because faith is not seeing and believing. It is believing before seeing. The blessing is already written in your story. The miracle is already waiting for the right moment to meet you. Stay faithful, stay alert, stay humble. Something big is on the way. When God is preparing to give you something big, He does not start with the gift. He starts with your heart. Because if the heart is not ready, the blessing becomes a burden. Many cry out for increase, but few are willing to be reshaped for it. God does not pour new oil into an old vessel. He changes the vessel first. He refines it through circumstances that appear painful, but are actually purposeful. When everything feels uncomfortable, it is not that God has left you. It is that He is rebuilding you from within. The blessing you are praying for requires a stronger, wiser, more surrendered version of you. And that transformation happens only through divine pressure. When God is about to release abundance, He will first strip away dependency. He will pull away the false supports, the crutches, the comfort zones you leaned on. Suddenly, what once gave you strength will no longer satisfy you. What once seemed reliable will begin to crumble. You will feel as though you are standing alone. But this is the wisdom of God. He removes the substitutes so you can learn to depend only on Him. Because big blessings demand pure trust. When God sees that your confidence rests in Him alone, He releases the kind of provision that no human hand can take credit for. And when that trust begins to form, your eyes will open. You will start seeing life differently. The noise around you will no longer move you. The opinions of others will no longer define you. The disappointments of the past will no longer limit you. You will find yourself anchored, calm in the middle of storms, because you finally understand that everything happening is part of God's design. That awareness is power. It is peace born from revelation. It is when your spirit whispers, "This pain is not for destruction, it is for construction." God is building something eternal in you that requires temporary discomfort. You see, when God is about to do something extraordinary, He often begins with something ordinary. He will ask you to be faithful in small things, in unseen places with unseen effort. It may seem as though your obedience is unnoticed, but heaven is watching. God measures greatness not by visibility, but by consistency. Before He gives you something big, He tests how you handle the small. Many people want elevation, but they ignore the training ground. They despise the small beginnings, not realizing that what looks insignificant today is the seed of tomorrow's greatness. If you can be faithful in silence, God will trust you with sound. If you can be diligent in obscurity, He will place you in influence. Do not be deceived by the slowness of God's process. What takes time to build lasts the longest. God is not in a hurry because He is perfecting you. Every delay is divine design. Every waiting period is a workshop for wisdom. You may feel impatient, but understand this: what God builds in patience cannot be destroyed by pressure. When your time comes, no one can stop it. No hand can block it. No system can delay it. Because when God commands a door to open, even the iron gates of impossibility must move. And yet, when the door finally opens, it will not surprise you. It will confirm everything your spirit already knew. You will realize that every season of pain had a purpose. Every prayer that felt unanswered was preparing the path. Every tear that fell in silence was watering the soil of your destiny. Because God wastes nothing. He uses even the broken pieces to build the bridge that leads to your blessing. You will look back one day and say, "Now I understand why it had to happen this way." But until that day comes, do not grow weary. Keep walking. Keep believing. Keep speaking life even when you feel surrounded by death. Your words carry creative power. When you align your speech with faith, heaven responds. Declare the promises of God over your life daily. Speak not from what you see, but from what you believe. When God is about to bless you, your tongue becomes a tool of manifestation. You must guard it from negativity, doubt, and fear. Speak as though the miracle is already done, because in the unseen realm, it is. In the days leading up to your breakthrough, you will also notice that distractions increase. Every petty conflict, every small irritation, every unnecessary argument will try to pull your focus. But this is the enemy's last attempt to drain your energy before the blessing arrives. Do not fall for it. When you are close to something great, you must protect your peace fiercely. Not everyone deserves access to your attention. Silence becomes your weapon. Stillness becomes your strength. The wise do not react, they remain rooted. When you stop responding to what does not matter, your spirit stays aligned with what does. And as you remain still, something extraordinary happens. You begin to discern the rhythm of God's timing. You stop forcing what isn't flowing. You stop chasing what doesn't align. You start understanding that when something is meant for you, it will not require you to beg or break to have it. It will come with peace. It will fit effortlessly. That is how you know it is from God. Divine blessings never come through manipulation. They come through manifestation. You do not chase them, you attract them through obedience. Let me tell you something powerful. Before every great blessing, there is always a test of faith. God will allow you to face a moment that contradicts the promise. He will allow you to stand in what looks like lack, even though abundance has been declared over you. That moment is not meant to destroy your hope. It is meant to reveal the strength of your faith. Will you still trust God when nothing makes sense? Will you still praise Him when nothing feels fair? Will you still hold His word above your fear? Those who pass this test step into realms of blessing that others only dream about. Because true faith is proven not in comfort, but in contradiction. And hear this carefully. When God is about to enlarge your territory, He will first enlarge your endurance. He will teach you to remain calm under pressure, kind under attack, and faithful under delay. This is not weakness, this is wisdom. The strongest people are not those who fight every battle, but those who discern which battles are worth fighting. Some storms are not meant to be resisted, they are meant to be ridden. Let God carry you through it. You will not sink, you will rise higher because of it. There will also be a moment when God tests your generosity. Before He can trust you with overflow, He will see what you do with little. When He tells you to give, it is not to take from you, it is to open a gate for you. Generosity creates spiritual circulation. The more you release, the more heaven releases back to you. A closed hand cannot receive. Many people pray for abundance, but live in fear of letting go. Yet every big blessing flows through open hands and open hearts. When you give freely, without hesitation, you declare that your source is not the world, it is God. And that declaration attracts miracles. When the blessing is near, God will also test your humility. Pride is the enemy of progress. Pride shuts the door to promotion faster than anything else. That is why, in the moments before you rise, God will bring situations that remind you of your dependence on Him. He will place you in positions where your own strength fails, so that you may remember who sustains you. Those who remain humble rise highest, because humility invites divine favor, and favor can do in one moment what effort cannot do in a lifetime. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the quieter heaven may become. Do not mistake silence for absence. When a teacher gives a test, they do not speak, they watch. God's silence often means He is observing your faith in motion. This is when you must anchor your soul in what you already know about Him. Has He ever failed you before? Has His word ever returned void? No. So even in the silence, He is working. Even in the delay, He is directing. Even when you cannot trace His hand, you can trust His heart. And then, just when you least expect it, the shift happens. Doors that were locked suddenly open. Paths that were hidden suddenly appear. What you prayed for months ago suddenly becomes reality. You will stand in awe, not because you received what you wanted, but because you finally understand why it took this long. God was never late. He was making sure everything was perfect. The timing, the place, the people, the conditions, all had to align so that when the blessing arrived, it would not just bless you, it would glorify Him. But remember this, when the blessing comes, do not forget the process. Many receive and forget. Many rise and lose their reverence. Never forget the wilderness that shaped you, the nights that strengthened you, the tears that cleansed you. Gratitude must become your lifestyle, not just your response. Gratitude keeps the flow of divine favor open. The more you thank God for what you have, the more heaven trusts you with what is next. So when you begin to see the signs, the separation, the warfare, the isolation, the discomfort, the divine hunger, the unusual instructions, and the inner peace, do not fear them. Embrace them. They are not signs of loss, they are signs of alignment. They mean heaven is active in your story. The unseen realm is moving on your behalf. The blessing has already been written. It is just waiting for the right chapter of your life to appear. God has not forgotten you. He has been preparing you. You are not behind, you are being positioned. Every pain has purpose, every silence has strategy, and every step has significance. You may not see it now, but soon you will understand that every moment of waiting was worth it. Because when God gives you something big, it will not just change your circumstances, it will transform your identity. You will become the person who can carry the blessing without losing the presence. When God decides to release something big into your life, He does not merely bless your hands, He transforms your spirit. Because what God is preparing for you requires a new level of spiritual strength, discipline, and sensitivity. You cannot walk into divine abundance with the same heart that survived the wilderness. You must evolve. You must grow. You must become the vessel worthy of what is coming. And that is why, right before the greatest blessings, God begins a deep internal reconstruction. He takes you through seasons that demand forgiveness, humility, obedience, and unwavering faith. There are moments when you will feel as if the very ground beneath your feet is disappearing. The familiar pathways that once guided you no longer work. The people who once celebrated you now misunderstand you. You will stand between what was and what is not yet. That is the in-between season, the divine pause between promise and fulfillment. This is where many lose hope, but those who understand the ways of God recognize it as the bridge of transformation. God never promotes anyone without first preparing them in silence. The in-between is where your roots go deeper. It is where your trust becomes mature. It is where you stop depending on the visible and start depending on the invisible. And this is what separates those who receive from those who only desire patience. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active faith. It is standing firm when everything in you wants to run. It is continuing to sow even when the soil looks dry. It is believing that God's promise will not return empty, even when your surroundings scream otherwise. Every blessing that lasts is birthed through patience. Those who rush God lose what could have been eternal, but those who wait for His timing receive blessings that overflow across generations. When God is about to give you something big, He will also test your vision. He will ask you, can you see beyond your current struggle? Can you still dream in the dark? Can you still declare abundance while standing in lack? Because faith is the ability to see with your spirit what your eyes cannot yet witness. If you can hold the picture in your heart, God will bring it to pass in your life. He moves through vision. The clearer your spiritual vision becomes, the more aligned your actions will be. That is why the enemy tries to blind you with discouragement. He wants you to stop seeing. Because once you stop seeing, you stop believing. And once you stop believing, you stop moving. So guard your vision with prayer, with purity, with focus. As God draws you closer to breakthrough, He will also refine your priorities. You will begin to lose interest in things that waste your time. Conversations that once entertained you will now feel heavy. Environments that once felt comfortable will now feel constricting. That's because your spirit is awakening to higher standards. God cannot elevate a heart that is satisfied with mediocrity. He will stir a holy discomfort within you that pushes you toward purpose. That restlessness you feel is not confusion, it is calling. God is pulling you out of the ordinary so He can trust you with the extraordinary. And in that process, He will confront your fears. You cannot step into something big while still bowing to fear. Fear limits, faith releases. So God will lead you into situations that stretch your confidence, that challenge your courage. He will show you that your safety was never in control. It was always in surrender. When you finally let go and trust Him completely, you unlock a level of divine assistance that makes the impossible possible. What once intimidated you will become your testimony. What once made you doubt will become the stage where His power is revealed through your endurance. One of the most overlooked signs that something big is coming is unexplainable peace in chaos. The storm does not stop, but somehow you are calm. People around you panic, yet you stand anchored. That peace is divine confirmation that God's hand is already upon your life. When you can stand still in the middle of noise, you are proving to heaven that you are ready. the one who can remain still before manifestation will remain humble after it arrives. That peace is not natural. It is spiritual. It is God whispering to your heart, do not fear. I am already ahead of you. And hear this truth. When God is about to give you something big, He will require you to let go of something you love. It might be a relationship, a comfort, an attachment, or an old identity. God removes the temporary to make space for the permanent. You cannot carry what was and still receive what is to come. Many hold on to expired seasons, praying for new beginnings. But God cannot fill a hand that refuses to release. So when He asks you to let go, trust that it is not loss, it is an exchange. You are trading something limited for something lasting. During this transition, God will begin to surround you with signs of confirmation. You will hear a message that speaks directly to your situation. A door will open unexpectedly. An opportunity will align perfectly. Even nature seems to cooperate with divine timing. These are not coincidences. They are divine fingerprints. God leaves traces of His movement to strengthen your faith. He is saying, I am with you. Keep going. Recognize these signs. Thank Him for them. Because the more you acknowledge His hand, the more visible His guidance becomes. And then comes the divine test of perseverance. The blessing may be near, but the pressure will peak. You may find yourself at your breaking point, and that is precisely where many give up. But in God's pattern, the darkest hour is always right before dawn. When it feels unbearable, that is the sign that the womb of destiny is ready to release. Pain is often the final proof that birth is near. Do not give up when you are tired. Rest if you must, but do not stop. You have already come too far. Every tear, every prayer, every moment of faith has built momentum that heaven will not waste. The enemy will whisper, it's not worth it. It's not happening. But your spirit must rise and say, God has not brought me this far to leave me empty. This is how the chosen rise, by remembering who called them, even when they cannot see where they are going. The unseen hand that carried you through the valley will not fail you on the mountain. The God who sustained you in lack will multiply you in abundance. His nature is faithfulness. His language is timing. When God gives you something big, it does not come to glorify you. It comes to reveal Him. Your blessing is a tool of testimony. The more He gives you, the more He expects you to reflect His light. Do not hide what He does for you. Speak of it boldly, with humility, so others may know that the same God who lifted you can lift them too. True blessings never make you proud. They make you grateful. The more God gives you, the smaller your ego becomes, because you understand that without His breath, you have nothing. And as your blessing manifests, remember that increase also brings responsibility. God does not elevate for comfort. He elevates for purpose. Every resource He places in your hands carries an assignment. The greater the gift, the greater the stewardship. Use what He gives you to serve, to uplift, to heal, to build. The more you bless others, the more heaven flows through you. Because divine abundance was never meant to be contained. It was meant to be distributed. You may look around right now and see no sign of progress, but let me tell you, something is already shifting. The winds of change are blowing. God has already written your next chapter. You may not see the pages yet, but the ink is dry. Everything you lost will be replaced with purpose. Everything that broke you will soon prove why it had to happen. The pain was not punishment, it was preparation. The waiting was not wasted, it was sacred. There will come a day when you wake up and realize that everything makes sense. The tears, the tests, the losses, all of it. You will look back and see the fingerprints of God in every detour, every closed door, every lonely night. You will see that He was not delaying you. He was protecting you from lesser things. Because when God gives you something big, He does not want you to share the glory with anything or anyone else. He wants it to be clear that it was His doing, so that your testimony becomes a mirror reflecting His power. So hold your faith like a sword. Speak God's promises like fire. Refuse to doubt in the dark what He showed you in the light. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. You are not waiting for God. He is waiting for you to be ready. And when your spirit aligns, when your heart surrenders, when your obedience matches your prayers, the heavens will open. The flow of favor will be unstoppable. The blessing will come suddenly, but it will fit perfectly. And in that moment, you will know that every trial, every storm, every tear was worth it. Because you will see that God's plan was never to break you. It was to build you into someone strong enough to carry His abundance with wisdom, grace, and humility. The waiting will end, the promise will speak, and your life will become living proof that when God is about to give you something big, He prepares you perfectly for it, heart, mind, and soul. When the hand of God is about to move in your life, the atmosphere around you begins to change. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit begins to feel it. Suddenly, you sense that something in the unseen realm is shifting. You feel uncomfortable where you once felt secure, disconnected from places you once belonged. You begin to lose your appetite for meaningless conversations. Your heart grows restless, and your mind begins to crave peace, solitude, and clarity. That is not confusion. That is God calling you higher. That is the quiet voice of destiny telling you that your old season has expired. You are being prepared for something far greater than your past, far bigger than your imagination could ever conceive. When God is about to give you something big, He does not let you stay the same. He separates you from what cannot handle your future. He removes people, opportunities, and distractions that would sabotage what He is building in you. Do not mourn what God removes. Thank Him for it. Because when God starts subtracting, it is only because He is preparing to multiply. The soil of your life must be cleared before the seed of greatness can grow. You may not understand the process now, but one day you will look back and say, God, thank you for every door that closed, every delay that tested me, and every loss that taught me to depend only on you. When God wants to give you something big, He will shake your foundation. He will allow storms that test your faith and silence that tests your patience. You will wonder, why is everything falling apart? But the truth is, nothing is falling apart. Everything is falling into place. God is rearranging your circumstances so that when His blessing arrives, there will be no confusion about where it came from. You will know it was not luck, it was not coincidence, it was the divine orchestration of God Himself. You see, the path to divine elevation is never smooth. Every chosen one must endure the breaking before the blessing. You must learn to trust when you cannot trace. You must hold on when everything inside you wants to give up. Because faith is not proven in comfort, it is forged in pressure. It is when your back is against the wall, when you are surrounded by uncertainty, that the power of God begins to manifest. That is when He whispers to your heart, "Be still, for I am with you." You may not feel Him, but He is there. You may not see the plan, but it is unfolding with perfect precision. Do not mistake God's silence for absence. Many times, when God is about to release something big into your life, He goes quiet. The silence is not punishment. It is preparation. God is allowing your spirit to mature so that when His promise arrives, you can carry it with wisdom, humility, and strength. The waiting season is not wasted time. It is sacred time. It is in waiting that your roots grow deep. It is in stillness that your faith becomes unshakable. It is in isolation that your soul learns to lean fully on God. And hear me, when that moment finally comes, when the heavens open and the promise you have prayed for is released, you will understand why it had to take this long. You will understand why the pain had to stretch you, why the delays had to refine you, why the disappointments had to toughen your spirit, because the weight of your blessing will demand a stronger version of you. The greater the promise, the deeper the preparation. God is not late, He is exact. And when the appointed time comes, not even the strongest enemy can stop what God has ordained for you. So I tell you today, do not give up. You are closer than you think. The struggle you are feeling right now is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign of transition. The pressure you feel is proof that something within you is about to be birthed. The discomfort is the doorway to destiny. You cannot step into divine greatness while holding on to old pain, old fear, or old ways of thinking. Let it go. Release it to God. Trust that whatever He takes away, He will replace with something far better. When God is about to give you something big, He tests your faith one last time. He asks, will you still believe when nothing makes sense? Will you still worship when you do not see results? Will you still trust when you are tired of waiting? That is the final exam before promotion. And if you can answer with unwavering faith, if you can say, God, even when I don't understand, I will still trust you, then heaven will move on your behalf. Because faith like that shakes the very foundations of the unseen world. Your greatest blessings are often wrapped in the most painful seasons. The enemy will try to convince you that God has forgotten you. But the truth is the exact opposite. You are on God's radar. You are in His process. Every tear, every setback, every sleepless night, it is all being used to build something powerful within you. God does not waste pain. He transforms it into strength. God does not waste delay. He turns it into preparation. God does not waste rejection. He converts it into redirection. Everything you are facing is preparing you for the moment when the promise finally unfolds before your eyes. And when that moment comes, you will not just receive a blessing, you will become a testimony. People will look at your life and see what faith can do. They will see the power of a person who refused to quit, who refused to bow to fear, who chose to trust in God even when the evidence said otherwise. And that testimony will not just glorify you, it will glorify the God who sustained you through the storm. So, stand tall, lift your head, dry your tears. God is not finished with you yet. The doors that were shut are about to open. The prayers that seemed unanswered are about to be fulfilled. The dream that looked dead is about to come alive. God has seen your faithfulness in private, and now He's about to reward you in public. He is about to reveal what He has been preparing behind the curtain of your pain. You are entering a season of divine revelation, a season where everything that once confused you will begin to make sense. You will look back at the long nights, the loneliness, the broken seasons, and you will say, now I understand. God was preparing me for something greater than I could ever imagine. That realization will fill your heart with gratitude and your mouth will overflow with praise. Because you will know it was not your strength that carried you, it was the hand of God. So let your faith rise again. Stand firm even when the winds of doubt try to shake you. Keep walking even when the path ahead is not clear. Keep believing even when you have nothing left but a whisper of hope. Because that whisper, when anchored in God, is stronger than the loudest fear. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are chosen for something extraordinary. And as you step into this new season, do not carry the mindset of your past. Walk with the confidence of someone who knows that God is in control. Walk with the assurance that nothing, no person, no delay, no enemy can block what God has decreed. The same hand that closed the old doors is the hand that will open new ones. The same voice that told you to wait will soon say, now, this is your moment to rise. This is your time to align your heart, your thoughts, and your actions with divine purpose. Stop looking at what you lost and start preparing for what is coming. The magnitude of what God is about to release into your life will make every previous season worth it. You will not just survive, you will soar. You will not just receive, you will overflow. So I leave you with this challenge. Trust God completely. Even when you cannot see, believe. Even when you do not feel, stand firm. Even when everything around you screams, impossible, declare in your heart that with God, all things are possible. Let your faith speak louder than your fear, your worship stronger than your worry, and your perseverance greater than your pain. Because the moment you refuse to give up, that is the moment heaven takes notice. That is the moment your breakthrough begins to move toward you. Very soon, you will see the manifestation of what you have prayed for. You will walk into rooms you once only dreamed of. You will receive opportunities that once seemed out of reach. You will live in the overflow of divine favor. And when that day comes, you will lift your hands and say, God, you did it. You kept your promise. You made a way when there was no way. So hold on, child of God. You are standing at the edge of your breakthrough. Do not turn back now. You have come too far to give up. The same God who began this work in you will complete it in power and glory. Keep believing, keep trusting, keep walking, because the blessing that is coming will not just change your life, it will redefine it forever. Have you ever wondered why God is saying to you today, do not look for a job? Because the very word job has kept many people enslaved, chained, and imprisoned to a system that was never designed for their freedom. God never called you to be a servant of men, dependent on their approval, waiting for their wages, living in fear of whether they will keep you or replace you. God is saying to you, now your provision does not come from a job. Your destiny does not come from a company. Your future does not rest in the hands of another man. Your destiny is in my hands, and I, the creator of heaven and earth, will provide for you in ways no employer ever could. Many of you have been searching, striving, knocking on doors, sending resumes, waiting for opportunities, begging for acceptance, hoping for a little salary that cannot even sustain the vision God placed in you. And yet you still wonder why the doors keep closing. It is because God Himself is closing them. God is saying, I did not make you to be a beggar at the tables of men. I made you to sit at my table, to walk in my abundance, to live by my provision. When you look for a job, you are looking for a man to feed you. But when you look to God, you are tapping into the limitless supply of heaven. Do you not see? Every job has limits. Every employer has boundaries. They can give you only so much. They can cut you off. They can restrict your income. They can cage your dream. But God has no limits. When God becomes your source, when God becomes your provider, when God is the one you depend on, then the streams will never run dry, the doors will never shut, the blessings will never cease. God is saying to you, stop asking men to do for you what only I can do. Stop lowering your vision to fit into their system. Stop chasing positions that cannot hold the weight of your calling. You are not called to live a life of wages. You are called to live a life of purpose. God never designed you to work for mere survival. God created you to manifest destiny, to walk in abundance, to release His power into the earth. A job may feed your stomach, but only God's plan can feed your soul. A job may give you a paycheck, but only God's vision will give you true prosperity. That is why you are restless. That is why no matter how many jobs you try, you still feel empty, unsatisfied, unfulfilled. Because deep inside you, God is whispering, this is not your portion. This is not your final destination. I have called you higher. I have called you to trust in me, not in man. Think about the systems of this world. They want you to believe that if you do not have a job, you are nothing, you are poor, you are a failure. They want you to be enslaved to the fear of unemployment. But God is breaking that lie in your life today. God is saying, your worth is not determined by a company. Your value is not defined by a title. Your success is not measured by a salary. I am your God and I am your provider. When you look for a job, you look for man's crumbs. But when you look to me, I open the windows of heaven and pour out blessings you cannot contain. Some of you are listening now and you are in a season where every job door has closed. You have applied and been rejected. You have tried and failed. You have waited and waited, and nothing has come. And you thought it was the devil. You thought it was bad luck. But I tell you today, it was God. God Himself shut those doors because He refuses to let you settle for less than what He has destined for you. God closed those doors because He does not want you to put your trust in man. God closed those doors because He is positioning you to see His hand, His power, His provision in your life. And now, the question is, will you keep chasing after men? Or will you lift your eyes to God? Will you keep begging for jobs? Or will you embrace the vision God has planted inside of you? Will you continue to run after salaries? Or will you allow God to be your source? God is not telling you to be lazy. God is not telling you to do nothing. God is telling you, stop chasing jobs and start chasing purpose. Stop depending on men and start depending on me. Stop running after positioners and start walking in the destiny I ordained for you before you were born. Listen carefully. A job is temporary. A job can end in a moment. But the vision of God is eternal. A company may fire you, but God cannot fire you from the calling He gave you. A boss may replace you, but no one can replace you in the plan of God. That is why He says, do not look for a job. Look for me, seek me, trust me, follow me, depend on me. And I will open doors no man can shut. I will release provision from unexpected places. I will make a way in the wilderness. I will cause rivers to flow in dry places. God is raising you to see beyond the mindset of wages. The reason some of you struggle is because your mind is still trapped in the system of survival. You think, if only I get this job, my life will be secure. No, security is not in a job. Security is in God. You think, if only this company hires me, I will have peace. No, peace is not in employment. Peace is in God. That is why God says, do not look for a job. Look for my plan. Look for my vision. Look for the assignment I created you to fulfill. You may say, but if I do not look for a job, how will I live? How will I feed my family? How will I survive? And God says, did I not feed my people in the wilderness for 40 years? Did I not send manna from heaven and water from a rock? Did I not multiply oil in the jars of the widow? Did I not use ravens to feed my prophet? Do you not believe that I can do it for you? Stop asking how and start trusting, for I am the God who provides in ways no man can predict. I am the God who supplies from sources you cannot see. I am the God who makes the impossible possible. This is why some of you feel such a burning restlessness inside. You know deep down that you were not created just to sit in an office, just to follow orders, just to trade your life for a wage. You know you were born for more. And that voice you feel inside is not your imagination. It is the voice of God telling you, rise, break free, stop looking for a job and start walking into your purpose. Stop searching for men to sustain you and let me be your source. Then listen closely, because God is speaking to your spirit right now. God is saying, do not limit me to the system of this world. Do not confine my power to the corridors of offices, to the signatures of men, or to the promises of companies. I am greater than all of them. I am the one who opens doors that no man can close, and I am the one who closes doors that no man can open. I am not bound by the economy. I am not controlled by governments. I am not restricted by inflation or recession. I am God, and I remain the same yesterday, today, and forever. Do not look for a job. Look to me, for I will be your everlasting provider. So many people run from place to place, trying to find stability. But they end up exhausted and broken because they search where stability does not exist. The stability of man is fragile. The opportunities of man are temporary. The favor of man can change overnight. But the provision of God is unshakable. When God says He will take care of you, He does not depend on any earthly system to make it happen. He can send blessings through ways that no one else can explain. He can lift you from the dust and seat you among rulers. He can transform nothing into abundance. He can bring water out of a dry rock. He can command creation itself to respond to your need. This is why He says, do not waste your life begging for jobs when I have already prepared a destiny for you. The world wants you to be dependent. They want you tied to a paycheck, tied to a routine, tied to a cycle of working for survival until your strength is gone. But God wants you free. God wants you to be dependent only on Him. God wants you to live not from paycheck to paycheck, but from glory to glory. God wants you to experience the richness of His provision, not the crumbs of man's hand. That is why He sometimes allows rejection. That is why He sometimes allows applications to fail, interviews to end, doors to close, because He is trying to cut off your dependence on man and shift your eyes to Him alone. The truth is, a job can make you comfortable, but it can also kill your vision. A job can give you food, but it can also bury your calling. A job can give you security, but it can also suffocate your destiny. This is why God says, do not look for a job, look for my plan. Because when you follow God's plan, your provision is attached to your obedience. Your prosperity flows with your purpose. Your blessings are unlocked by your faith. And when you live this way, no man can stop what God is doing in your life. Consider this: God never created Adam and Eve to have jobs. He created them to manage, to govern, to expand, to multiply, to cultivate the garden He placed them in. That was not a job. It was a mandate. That was not employment. It was destiny. In the same way, you were not created just to clock in and clock out. You were not created just to survive until the end of your days. You were created to walk in authority, to manage the gifts God placed inside you, to multiply the talents He entrusted to you, to manifest His glory on the earth. That is why a job will never fully satisfy you, because you were not born to be employed by men. You were born to be employed by God. When God says, do not look for a job, He is not telling you to sit idle. He is commanding you to rise into your true work, the work He assigned to you before you were even born. Some of you have talents that have been buried under the weight of looking for jobs. Some of you have gifts that have been suffocated because you keep trying to fit into a system God never created for you. But God is awakening those gifts again. God is stirring those talents again. God is saying, stop burying what I gave you. Stop wasting what I placed in your hands. Stop begging men for wages when I gave you the power to create wealth through the gifts inside of you. Your gift is not just a hobby. Your gift is a key. It is the channel God designed to provide for you, to bless you, to lift you. Your talent is not just for decoration. It is your assignment. Do not despise what God gave you. Do not compare it to others. Do not say it is too small. Because with God, even the smallest gift becomes a river of abundance when placed in His hands. If God could take a shepherd's rod and turn it into a weapon that divided seas, if God could take a jar of oil and multiply it until it paid every debt, if God could take 5 loaves and feed thousands, then what can He not do with the gift He placed inside of you? That is why He says, do not look for a job. Look at what I placed inside of you. Look at the vision I wrote on your heart. Look at the talent I entrusted to you. You see, when you depend on jobs, you depend on salaries. But when you depend on God, you depend on streams. Salaries end. Salaries are fixed. Salaries can be stopped. But streams of God's provision never run dry. God can use your gift to open streams from places you never imagined. He can bring opportunities to you without you chasing them. He can cause nations to call your name. He can make the work of your hands fruitful beyond your imagination. This is why the enemy wants to keep you chasing jobs. Because he knows as long as you chase jobs, you will remain bound to limits. But when you embrace God's purpose, you step into limitless supply. Do not misunderstand this word. God is not against work. God is against slavery to man's system. God is not against effort. God is against fear-driven survival. Work is holy when it flows from purpose. Labor is honorable when it flows from destiny. But work without vision is bondage. Labor without God's direction is slavery. That is why God says, do not look for a job, look for your assignment. For in your assignment is your abundance. In your assignment is your joy. In your assignment is your freedom. And I tell you this truth, some of you have been sitting on ideas God gave you years ago, but fear kept you chained to the idea of a job. You were too afraid to step out. You said, what if I fail? What if it does not work? But listen, when God gives you the idea, the provision is already attached. When God gives you the vision, the resources are already waiting. When God gives you the assignment, He has already gone ahead of you to prepare the way. All He needs is your obedience. All He needs is your faith. All He needs is for you to say, God, I will trust you more than I trust a paycheck. Do not think you are too weak. Do not think you are too unqualified. Do not think you are too small. For when God becomes your employer, He trains you, He equips you, He strengthens you, and He multiplies what you have. The world may look at you and see nothing, but God looks at you and sees a nation inside of you. God looks at you and sees rivers inside of you. God looks at you and sees generations that will be blessed because of you. This is why He is saying to you with such urgency, do not waste your life chasing jobs. Fix your eyes on me. Walk in my calling. Trust my provision. Step into my purpose. I am your source and I will never fail you. Listen to me, for this is not the word of man. It is the stirring voice of God pressing into your spirit. I have not called you to spend your life searching for a job. I have called you to seek me, to walk in faith, to discover the greatness I have hidden inside of you. Too long you have thought that survival was the goal of life. Too long you have believed that your identity was tied to an occupation. But God is tearing off that lie today. God is lifting you into a higher truth. Your worth comes not from what you do for men, but from who you are in God. You must understand this. Jobs are designed by men to keep you functioning within their system. But purpose is designed by God to make you function in His kingdom. And the kingdom of God does not operate like the systems of men. In the systems of men, you must beg to be accepted. In the kingdom of God, you are already chosen. In the systems of men, you must climb ladders to be promoted. In the kingdom of God, promotion comes directly from His hand. In the systems of men, you are replaceable. In the kingdom of God, you are irreplaceable. This is why you feel restless in jobs, why you feel trapped, why no position fully satisfies you. Because your spirit was not created to be caged. Your spirit was created to soar in the vision of God. God is saying, stop seeking what will confine you. Start seeking what I designed to release you. That is the difference between a job and a calling. A job takes from you, but a calling releases from you. A job drains you, but a calling fills you. A job is temporary, but a calling is eternal. And I tell you, if you align with God's calling, provision will follow you like a shadow. Opportunities will come searching for you instead of you searching for them. Blessings will overtake you. For it is written, those who trust in God will be like a tree planted by rivers of water, bearing fruit in every season. That is not the fruit of a paycheck. That is the fruit of purpose, the fruit of obedience, the fruit of walking with God as your source. Now, you may say, but the world will not understand. People will call me irresponsible if I do not chase a job. And God replies, did I call you to follow the world, or did I call you to follow me? The world may laugh, but they laughed at Noah until the rain fell. The world may doubt, but they doubted Abraham until the promise came. The world may mock, but they mocked every prophet until my power was revealed. You cannot live by the approval of men and the provision of God at the same time. You must choose whom you will trust. And I declare to you, when you choose God, He will vindicate you before every doubter. He will lift you before every mocker. He will prove that His hand upon you is greater than the systems of men. Let me tell you something deeper. When you pursue jobs, you are pursuing survival. But when you pursue God, you are pursuing destiny. Survival is the life of animals. They search every day just to eat and exist. But destiny is the life of those who walk with God. They live to manifest His glory, to carry out His will, to become vessels of His abundance. Which life will you choose? To survive like a creature, or to live like a child of the Most High? God is saying to you, I have placed eternity in your heart. Do not sell it for a wage. I have placed greatness inside you. Do not bear it under fear. I have placed light in you. Do not hide it in the offices of men. Some of you listening right now are on the edge of a breakthrough, but you are too afraid to let go of the system that enslaves you. You keep saying, what if I fail? What if it does not work? But I tell you, the only failure is refusing to trust God. The only true failure is living a life smaller than the one He designed for you. God is not asking you to figure out every detail. God is not asking you to have every resource. God is asking you for faith. Faith to believe that if He calls you, He will sustain you. Faith to believe that if He gave you a vision, He already prepared provision. Faith to believe that if you walk with Him, you will lack no good thing. And hear this, the enemy fears a man or woman who stops looking for jobs and starts walking in God's calling. Because jobs keep you busy, but callings make you powerful. Jobs keep you distracted, but callings make you dangerous. Jobs limit your reach, but callings make you unstoppable. This is why the enemy fights so hard to keep you chained to fear of unemployment. He knows the moment you break free from that fear and put your trust fully in God, you will become a weapon in the hands of the Almighty. You will become a light that no darkness can quench. You will become a living testimony that God is greater than the systems of men. Do you not see? Every man who ever did great things for God had to break free from the safety of man's system. They had to step into the unknown, trusting only in God's word. And every time God proved faithful. God is saying to you now, will you dare to trust me the way they did? Will you dare to leave behind the cages men built and enter the freedom I offer? Will you dare to stop chasing jobs and start chasing destiny? God never called you to be ordinary. He never called you to be just another worker in a crowd. He never called you to hide your gifts under the approval of a boss. God called you to be extraordinary, to stand out, to shine, to lead, to influence, to impact nations. And He will never allow you to find peace in the ordinary because His mark is on your life. That is why jobs will never fully satisfy you, because you were not created for them, you were created for God. And when you step into this truth, fear will lose its grip. You will no longer ask, who will hire me? Instead, you will declare, God has already appointed me. You will no longer fear, what if I do not get paid? Instead, you will declare, God is my source and His supply never fails. You will no longer wonder, what if they reject me? Instead, you will stand boldly and say, if men reject me, it only means God has something greater prepared. For those who put their trust in God cannot be disappointed. So rise up, break the chains of fear. Refuse to bow to the idols of employment. Refuse to sell your destiny for survival. Refuse to be enslaved by the system of man. Stand as a child of God and declare with all your heart, I will not look for a job. I will look to God. I will not chase wages. I will chase purpose. I will not depend on man. I will depend on God alone. Then hear this final word that God is impressing upon your spirit in this very moment. All your life, you have been told that survival depends on the hands of men, on the approval of employers, on the systems of this world. But today, God has torn down that lie. Today, God is calling you to lift your eyes higher, to see beyond the limits of wages and salaries, to see the vastness of His provision and the greatness of His purpose. You are not an accident wandering the earth, desperate for work. You are a vessel designed by God, carrying gifts that this world cannot contain. You are not here to beg for opportunities. You are here to manifest what God placed inside of you. You are not here to chase after jobs. You are here to walk in the calling of God, a calling that no man can cancel, a destiny that no system can block, a purpose that no rejection can erase. And I tell you, if you dare to trust God, if you dare to shift your dependence from man to Him, your life will no longer be ordinary. You will see provision come from unexpected places. You will see doors open where there were only walls. You will see rivers flow in deserts. You will see miracles in your daily bread. And more than that, you will know the freedom of walking not as a servant of man, but as a child of the Most High, sustained by His hand, guided by His voice, empowered by His Spirit. So this is the call of God to you today: break free. Break free from fear. Break free from doubt. Break free from the chains of survival. Step into the truth that God is your source. Step into the boldness of faith. Step into the destiny that has been waiting for you since before you were born. Do not bury your gift any longer. Do not silence your vision any longer. Do not wait for permission from men. Rise, for God Himself has given you permission. Rise, for God Himself has chosen you. Rise, for God Himself will provide for you. And when you rise, do not look back. Do not return to the cage. Do not bow to the system. Fix your eyes on God and walk with the confidence that if He called you, He will sustain you. If He sent you, He will equip you. If He planted you, you will bear fruit in every season. Now go and let this word burn in your heart. God said, do not look for a job. Look for me. If you will do this, if you will trust Him above all else, you will not only see your own life transformed, but you will become a testimony for generations to come, a living witness that God is faithful, that God provides, and that God never fails those who put their trust in Him. So choose today. Will you remain bound to men, or will you walk in the freedom of God? The choice is yours. The call is clear. Step forward in faith and never look back. Have you ever been in the presence of someone and felt the air shift, the atmosphere grow heavy, your spirit unsettled, as though darkness itself had walked into the room? Have you ever seen a smile that hides hatred, a word that looks sweet but carries poison, a touch that feels like chains binding your soul? My friend, that is not ordinary. That is not coincidence. That is the reality of evil manifesting through a vessel, the reality of demons moving in human disguise. And today, God is opening your eyes to discern the truth, to recognize the signs, to break free from the snares of those who walk not in His light, but in the shadows of destruction. Listen carefully. Demons do not always come with horns and fire. They do not always roar or shake walls. Sometimes they come dressed in charm, clothed in beauty, carrying flattering words, disguising themselves as helpers or friends. But behind the mask is the intent to devour, to distract, to destroy. This is why God commands you to test the spirits, to open your eyes, to sharpen your discernment, because not everyone around you is sent by Him. Some have been planted by darkness to drain your strength, to corrupt your path, to sabotage your destiny. And there are signs, clear, undeniable signs, that reveal when someone is a demon in disguise. The first sign is that they carry a destructive presence. Wherever they go, confusion follows. Division erupts. Peace is stolen. Suddenly, arguments increase, jealousy stirs, and the environment becomes toxic. You may not see change in the natural, but in the spiritual, they are tying knots around every soul they encounter. When someone carries the spirit of destruction, you must recognize that it is not flesh you are fighting. It is the spirit of darkness behind them. God is showing you this so you will not be deceived by their outward appearance. The second sign is manipulation. Demonic vessels are experts at twisting words, bending truth, and using subtlety to control you. They never push openly. Instead, they wrap chains around you softly with persuasion, with guilt, with flattery, until suddenly your will no longer feels like your own. You start making decisions not out of conviction, but out of fear of losing them. This is not love, this is enslavement. And God is saying to you, do not submit to the manipulation of those who walk in darkness. My people are called to freedom, not bondage. The third sign is rebellion against God. A demon-possessed person may appear spiritual. They may even quote holy words, but their life resists the authority of God. They despise holiness. They mock purity. They live for pleasure, for power, for pride. And they draw others into the same rebellion. Listen, it is not the words of a person that reveal them. It is the spirit behind their words. A demon cannot walk in surrender to God because its very nature is to defy Him. If you see someone who constantly rejects the ways of God while pretending to love them, you are looking at a vessel of darkness. The fourth sign is hatred disguised as love. A demon will never truly rejoice in your growth, your joy, your blessings. Instead, they will smile while secretly resenting you. They will draw close not to uplift you, but to monitor you, to compete with you, to sabotage you. And when the opportunity comes, they will strike with betrayal. God warns us of this spirit because too many of His children have been wounded by counterfeit love, by those who pretended to be allies but were, in truth, enemies of destiny. If you sense jealousy, if you feel that hidden resentment beneath kind words, trust the prompting of God. It is not a friend, it is a foe. The fifth sign is the draining of your spirit. When you are around someone sent by God, you feel peace, strength, encouragement, and light. But when you are around someone who is a demon in disguise, your energy is stolen, your faith is weakened, your clarity is clouded. You leave their presence more tired than before, more anxious, more doubtful. This is not normal. It is the evidence of a spirit feeding on you. Demons thrive by stealing your strength, your joy, your focus, because once you are weakened, you are easier to destroy. God is urging you to recognize this and cut off such connections without hesitation. The sixth sign is an unrelenting drive to keep you away from God. Demonic people will do everything to distract you from prayer, from faith, from purity. They will keep you busy with drama, with sin, with temptation, until you no longer have time to seek the presence of God. Their conversations never build you spiritually. They only fill you with negativity, lust, greed, and emptiness. If you notice that your walk with God is declining around someone, you must open your eyes and see that this is not by accident. that person has become a vessel of darkness, positioned to separate you from the only source of life. And I tell you this truth, demons fear exposure. They thrive in deception, but once the light of God reveals them, their power weakens. That is why God is calling you today to sharpen your discernment, to trust His voice within you, to pay attention to the unease He places in your heart when you encounter darkness. Do not silence that inner warning. Do not excuse toxic behavior. Do not cover evil with false hope. When God shows you a demon, believe Him and act accordingly. But hear me clearly, the power of a demon is nothing before the power of God. They may come to steal, to deceive, to divide. But one word from God breaks every chain. One move from God scatters every darkness. You are not called to live in fear of demons. You are called to live in awareness, in authority, in boldness. For when you walk with God, no demon can overtake you. No spirit can enslave you. No darkness can overcome the light within you. And this is the challenge God is setting before you now. Who are you allowing into your life? Who are you listening to? Who are you walking with? Do they carry the presence of God or the presence of demons? Do they lead you closer to light or deeper into darkness? Do not compromise. Do not negotiate. Do not allow pity or fear to tie you to destruction. Cut off what God reveals as demonic. Protect your spirit. Guard your destiny. And walk boldly in the truth that God is your shield. My friend, the days are dark and deception is rising. But those who walk with God, those who remain in His truth, those who listen to His voice will not be overcome. Let this word sink deep into your spirit. Not every hand that reaches for you is a hand from God. Not every voice that praises you is a voice of truth. Not every friend is a friend of your soul. Some are demons clothed in human form. And your strength is not in ignoring it. It is in discerning it, confronting it, and breaking free. So rise with courage. Ask God for discernment. Ask God for wisdom. Ask God to reveal every demon hiding in your path. And when He does, walk away without hesitation. Do not linger. Do not look back. Do not fear. For if God is with you, no demon can stand against you. When God reveals the truth to His people, it is never to frighten them. It is to prepare them, to sharpen them, and to awaken them to the reality of the unseen. The greatest tragedy is not that demons exist, but that so many people walk through life unaware of their influence. They smile, they laugh, they shake hands with spirits in human form, not realizing that their destiny is being stolen piece by piece. The danger is not in what you see, but in what you refuse to see. And God is calling you to open your spiritual eyes to discern the hidden forces behind the masks that surround you. You must understand that demons operate through vessels because they need bodies to carry out their work. They are powerless without a willing host. And so they search for hearts open to greed, to lust, to hatred, to pride. Hearts unguarded by the fear of God. When they find such a vessel, they clothe themselves in human flesh and walk among you as though they belong. But they do not belong. They are intruders in the camp of the righteous, saboteurs in the house of peace, agents of confusion, sent to scatter what God has gathered. And if you do not discern them, you will sit with them at your table. You will share secrets with them. and you will entrust your soul to those who plan your destruction. That is why discernment is not a gift of luxury. It is a necessity for survival. Without discernment, you will mistake poison for medicine, enemies for friends, and demons for allies. You will invite destruction into your life with your own hands. But when God sharpens your spirit, when His wisdom becomes your guide, you will see clearly. You will notice the contradiction in their words, the unease in their presence, the heaviness they bring, the rebellion in their spirit. You will not be deceived, because the voice of God within you will whisper, "This is not from me." Do not ignore that voice. Too many have silenced the warnings of God out of pity, out of fear, or out of the desire to please people. They hold on to relationships that God has already exposed as demonic, thinking they can change them, thinking they can love them into righteousness. But hear this truth: you cannot deliver what only God can deliver. You cannot heal what refuses to be healed. A demon will not be transformed by your affection. It will be strengthened by your tolerance. When God reveals someone's true nature, it is not your assignment to redeem them. It is your assignment to separate yourself and remain in the covering of His light. Now, understand this with clarity: demons are strategic. They will not always attack you head-on. Sometimes they will comfort you in your weakness, not to strengthen you, but to keep you weak. Sometimes they will encourage your sins, not out of love, but to make sure you sink deeper into chains. Sometimes they will celebrate your failures, hiding behind words of false support, so you never realize that they rejoice in your pain. They are deceivers, and deception is their weapon. But deception only works when your eyes are closed. That is why God is urging you to stay awake, stay vigilant, stay rooted in Him, because His truth will always pierce through the lies of darkness. There is a difference between someone struggling with weakness and someone living as a vessel of demons. Weakness can be surrendered to God. Demons refuse to surrender. Weakness cries for help. Demons mock the very idea of help. Weakness can be healed in the light of God. Demons thrive only in rebellion against that light. You must learn to distinguish between the two, because if you confuse them, you will extend patience to what needs to be cut off, and you will waste your strength fighting what is not your battle to fight. Let me speak to you plainly. Some of you have been tormented for years, not by invisible spirits, but by people in your life who carry demonic assignments. Every time you rise, they drag you down. Every time you pray, they distract you. Every time you step forward, they whisper fear into your ear. And because you call them friend, family, or partner, you excuse the patterns and tolerate the change. But God is saying, enough. You are not called to carry demons with you. You are called to walk free, to walk holy, to walk in the authority of the light. If you do not sever what God has revealed as darkness, you will never step fully into the destiny He has prepared for you. Here, these demons hate the presence of God. That is why they cannot remain comfortable around someone who carries His Spirit with boldness. If you want to expose them, increase your devotion. Fill your home with prayer. Fill your life with truth. Fill your heart with worship of God. Watch how they squirm, how they avoid, how they flee, because the darkness in them cannot withstand the light in you. You do not need to argue with a demon. You do not need to prove yourself to a demon. You only need to stand in the authority of God, and they will expose themselves by their own discomfort. But do not mistake exposure for defeat. A demon can be exposed and still cling to you if you refuse to let them go. You must not only see the signs, you must act upon them. It is not enough to know that someone is carrying darkness. You must decide to remove them from the intimate spaces of your life. You must decide to cut ties that God has shown are chains. You must decide to protect your spirit above all else. And that requires courage, because demons often come through people you once loved, people you once trusted, people you never imagined could be used by darkness. But if you choose comfort over obedience, you choose bondage over freedom. This is why the walk with God is not for the faint of heart. It requires boldness. It requires faith. It requires the willingness to stand alone if necessary. But you will never truly be alone, because God Himself stands with those who stand with His truth. And when you stand with God, no demon can overpower you. No spirit can enslave you. No darkness can eclipse your light. You are protected. You are shielded. You are upheld by the very hand of the Almighty. So I say to you with the fire of conviction, open your eyes, sharpen your spirit, and walk in the wisdom of God. Do not be deceived by outward beauty, by smooth words, by familiar faces. Look deeper, listen carefully, test every spirit, and when God reveals the demon, do not compromise. Break free, walk forward, and never look back. For your destiny is too precious, your calling too great, and your God too mighty for you to waste another moment in the company of darkness. There are moments in your life when God allows you to feel the weight of demonic presence, not to frighten you, but to train you. He allows you to walk into a room and suddenly feel heaviness. He allows you to meet someone who smiles outwardly but makes your spirit restless. This is not coincidence. This is discernment. God is showing you that there is more happening than meets the eye. Demons are not concerned with flesh. They are after destiny. They are after the light that God has placed inside of you. If you did not carry something powerful, they would not pursue you with such intensity. Their attack is the confirmation of your calling. But do not make the mistake of underestimating them. A demon does not always roar like a lion. It often whispers like a friend. It cloaks itself in flattery, in false love, in deceptive kindness. It studies your weaknesses and approaches through the cracks of your heart. That is why God urges you to guard your spirit diligently. You cannot afford to be naive in a world where demons operate boldly through men and women. If you are careless, you will shake hands with your enemy. You will marry into bondage. You will sign contracts with destruction. And only later will you realize that you invited ruin into your life because you refused to see what God was showing you. You must come to terms with this truth. Not everyone is human in spirit. Some are carriers of darkness, deliberately opposing the plans of God. They do not seek peace, they thrive on chaos. They do not bring unity, they sow division. They do not uplift, they tear down. Their entire existence is a rebellion against the holiness of God, And when you allow them into your life, you are permitting darkness to sit at the table God reserved for light. That is why God says, be separate. Separation is not cruelty. It is obedience. It is protection. It is the boundary that keeps your soul safe from corruption. Consider this. When God wants to bless you, He often sends a person. When the enemy wants to destroy you, he also sends a person. The form may look the same, but the spirit behind it is different. This is why you cannot evaluate people merely by what they say or do externally. You must discern what spirit they carry. A blessing may look ordinary on the outside, but it carries the fragrance of God. A curse may look appealing on the outside, but it carries the stench of hell. To the blind, both look harmless. To the discerning, one brings life and the other brings death. And let me speak this truth boldly, demons are not always violent in appearance. Sometimes they are subtle, refined, even respected. They may sit in positions of power. They may lead crowds. They may speak eloquently. But their words do not lead people toward God. They lead people away. They confuse truth, distort purity, and normalize rebellion. They teach compromise, and through compromise, they open the door to destruction. This is why God demands that you anchor yourself in Him so deeply that no smooth talker can shake you, no manipulator can bend you, no deceiver can entice you. If you are not anchored in God, you will be carried away by every wave of demonic influence that comes dressed as wisdom. Understand also that demons are restless by nature. They cannot remain silent for long. They will reveal themselves through patterns, through contradictions, through the trail of destruction they leave behind. Pay attention to consistency. A person filled with God may stumble, but their life moves in the direction of light, growth, and restoration. A person carrying demons may disguise themselves temporarily, but the fruit will eventually betray them. You will see bitterness, envy, lust, hatred, pride, always pointing back to the darkness within. God said you will know them by their fruit. If the fruit is rotten, do not excuse it, discern it. If the fruit poisons your peace, cut it off before it kills your purpose. Some of you are fighting battles that are not even yours because you are tied to someone who carries demons. Their chaos has become your chaos. Their rebellion has become your warfare. Their destruction is dragging you into a pit you were never meant to enter. And yet you excuse it in the name of loyalty, in the name of love, in the name of compassion. But hear me, loyalty to a demon is betrayal to your own soul. Compassion for a demon is cruelty to your destiny. God is not calling you to save what He has already condemned. He is calling you to escape, to protect the light. He entrusted to you to keep your spirit unpolluted so you can fulfill your divine assignment. When you walk with God, demons will fear you. They may plot against you, but they cannot prevail. They may attack, but they cannot conquer. For greater is the one who shields you than all the forces of darkness combined. But that protection only works when you obey. If God reveals the presence of a demon in someone's life and you ignore His warning, you step outside of His protection by your disobedience. Protection is not passive. It is tied to obedience. That is why wisdom and discernment are not optional. They are your shield in a world where spirits roam freely. Hear this deeply. The presence of a demon is always hostile to the presence of God. That is why the atmosphere changes when you bring God into a room. They cannot coexist peacefully. Light and darkness have no agreement. That is why when you live as a carrier of God's Spirit, demons will either flee from you or attempt to fight you. But they cannot remain neutral. So if someone in your life becomes increasingly hostile as you grow closer to God, do not mistake it for coincidence. That hostility may be the sign that the spirit within them is resisting the God within you. Pay attention. God reveals these patterns not to hurt you, but to protect you. There is also this truth. Demons do not always want to destroy you instantly. Sometimes they want to delay you. Delay is one of their greatest weapons. If they can keep you stagnant, distracted, entangled in the wrong company, then your destiny is wasted without them even needing to kill you. They rob you of time, of opportunities, of focus. They exhaust your energy on battles you were never meant to fight. And before you know it, years have passed, your fire has dimmed, and your calling has been buried beneath endless distractions. That is why discerning and removing demonic influences from your life is not just about survival. It is about preserving the time and the destiny God has given you. Do not be passive. Do not tolerate. Do not negotiate with darkness. When God exposes a demon, act swiftly. Close the door. Cut the tie. Protect the altar of your life. For every day you allow them near, they drain your spirit, they steal your joy, they cloud your vision. But every day you walk in obedience to God, you grow stronger, clearer, free. And the freer you are, the more powerfully God can use you to fulfill the assignment for which He created you. Your life is too precious to be entangled with demons in disguise. Your destiny is too great to be delayed by counterfeit relationships. Your calling is too urgent to be polluted by hidden darkness. God is calling you higher, purer, stronger. And to step into that place, you must not only recognize the signs of demons, you must take the bold step of cutting them off and walking fully in the light. Now hear me as I speak this final word into your soul. The hour is urgent, the battle is real, and the choice is clear. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot drink from two cups. You cannot walk with both light and darkness. God has shown you the signs. He has opened your eyes, and now the responsibility rests upon you. Will you rise in the authority of God, or will you continue to tolerate what is draining your spirit? Will you protect the light He has entrusted to you, or will you let be smothered by the shadows you refuse to confront? This is not a time for fear. This is not a time for hesitation. This is a time for boldness, for courage, for unwavering faith in the one who created you. Demons thrive on indecision, but they tremble before conviction. When you decide in your heart to walk fully with God, no power of darkness can hold you. No chain can bind you. No curse can remain upon you. For the authority of God in you is greater than the schemes of hell against you. So I challenge you now, examine your life. Look at your relationships, your circles, your connections. Ask yourself, who carries the fragrance of God and who carries the stench of rebellion? Who lifts you closer to the light and who pulls you deeper into shadows? Do not answer with your emotions, answer with your spirit. And when God reveals the truth, act with courage. Cut off what He has marked as dangerous. Separate yourself from what He has shown is not of Him. For only then will you walk in the fullness of the freedom He has prepared for you. And as you rise, do not look back. Let your heart be set like flint toward the destiny ahead of you. Let your spirit burn with holy fire that no demon can quench. Let your steps be firm, your voice be bold, and your faith be unshakable. For you are not walking in your own strength. You are walking in the strength of God. And with Him, you are unstoppable. Go forth. Then, with eyes open and spirit alert, carry the light of God wherever you go, and let that light expose, scatter, and destroy every hidden work of darkness around you. Live as one who is untouchable by the schemes of demons, unshaken by the threats of hell, and unmovable in the presence of the Almighty. And may the truth of God echo in your soul every single day. No demon, no darkness, no deception can ever prevail against a heart fully surrendered to Him. Now rise, walk free, and live as the living testimony that God reigns, that His light overcomes every shadow, and that those who belong to Him will never be defeated.